Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. My name is Betsy and this is my channel The Wildflower Hippie, and in this video I'm going to talk about the books I read in May. So in May I wanted to read 10 books, but eventually I only read 4, which is still good, but I wanted to read 10. But every night when I wanted to read I watched Netflix instead, so that is the reason why I didn't read as much I wanted to, but let's begin this video. So the first book I read was The Witches by Roald Dahl, and when I was a kid, like maybe 12 years old or something, I was a huge fan of the BFG and Matilda, and I loved to read those books over and over again. And one of those books by Roald Dahl was The Witches, and I still hadn't read it yet, and I know it's a children's book, but I still wanted to read it, so that is why I decided to pick it and buy it. But honestly, I didn't really enjoy it. It was like a little bit creepy too. I can't imagine that I would read this as a kid because it was like creepy. But yeah, I still didn't really enjoy it. Maybe my expectations were too high because I really loved those books by Roald Dahl when I was a kid, and yeah, I don't know, I was not really feeling it. Maybe I'm too old for it now to read those books, but overall I didn't like it. I wanted to quit reading when I was halfway in, and yes, I just didn't really enjoy it. But I still want to see if I will like the movie, because in 2020 the new version of The Witches came out, and I still want to watch that one. The next book I read was, spoiler alert, by Olivia Jade. So there's this girl, and well, more a woman, who likes to write fan fiction about this series, and one of the actors of those series also likes to write fan fiction about his own series, and they meet and they fall in love. So this book is really focused on writing fan fiction, and after reading this book I realized that I'm not into fan fiction stories. I know that this wasn't like a fan fiction, but it was about fan fiction, if you know what I mean, but I didn't really enjoy it. I read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell a few years ago, and I remember that I also didn't like that book because it was about fanfiction. So now I really know that I'm not into fanfictions. So I didn't really enjoy it. The romantic parts between the two characters was cool and cute, but I was not feeling it because I had nothing in common with those two characters, and yeah, I was not feeling it. But luckily I still managed to read 2 books that I actually enjoyed reading. The first one is The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. So this is the first book in the Bridgerton series. When I watched the Bridgerton series on Netflix, I knew I had to read the whole series. So this was the first one and I really enjoyed it. It's basically the same as the series, so if you're not into books, then you can also watch the series. You're not missing a lot of things. I think they added a couple of more things in the series, but it's basically the same, and I really enjoyed it. And I definitely want to read the rest of the series. I believe there are 9 books in the series, so I have 8 more to go, and I will definitely review those on my blog and here on my YouTube channel, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And the last book I read was Evie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes, and I've never heard of Linda before, but I like to try new books by authors that I don't know, because that is how I discovered one of my favorite authors, Joe Watson. I really liked it. It was not the best book I've ever read or my favorite, but it was good, and I honestly can't think of one thing that I didn't like about this book. So this is about Evie Drake, and she was married to Tim, and 1 year ago he passed away, and everyone is assuming that Evie is grieving, but she actually isn't, because on the day Tim died, she was about to leave him because he was a bully basically. He was not like abusing her like in a physical way, but mentally he was. So she's not really grieving, but nobody knows that about her. But one day she decides to rent half of her apartment to a famous baseball player, Dean, and she basically tells him right away about her story and her marriage with him, and they fall in love eventually. I really enjoyed reading this book. I think this was one of my favorite books this month, and I can't wait to read more of her. I couldn't find other books written by Linda Holmes, so I think was her first book, but hopefully she will write more books in the future, because I really liked her writing style. It was like straight to the point. Some authors add too much details to the books and everything, and I'm very impatient and I want to get straight to the point. And yeah, that was the main thing I liked about this book. So these were the books I read in May. Let me know down below in the comments section which books you read in May, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.